Hello and welcome back for another episode of Truly Bedrock with me, Mr. Beardstone, and we're hanging out here at our gold farm where we have been very busy making some upgrades, making some adjustments, and as you can see from the sheer amount of gold blocks we have in here, we've also been running the farm quite a lot, and we are loaded. So as well as all the gold we have up here, which I've just used for decoration to make this room look a little bit more regal like we mentioned last episode, I have also made a few upgrades over this side, but we've got plenty of gold blocks in here, and currently I think we're full up to about here, so all of these chests are full, and it's the same on this side as well, so we've got lots and lots of gold and lots of things we can be doing with that, and yeah, I've also made a few upgrades to a few other bits around here. So over here we have the station where we can make our flint and steel, and what we do is we can flick that on, and that actually turns on the farm. It sends a signal all the way up to the top, and we can start raining down the pigmen, as you can see, and they drop now. I've actually lowered this one block and they die 100% of the time now when they hit the floor. However, it did occur to me that I could also switch it up a little bit and turn it into an XP grinder, but the problem is obviously I can't really raise the floor or anything like that, and I then put this switch in, and what this does is just creates a little breaker there, so as they fall down they have their fall broken, most of them do anyhow, and yeah, and then I can just run along here, I can murderize them all, and I can get the XP from them as well. Obviously that does increase the sort of drops that you get as well, and occasionally one of them gets pushed out the side of the glass, so you definitely don't want to do this for long, and it's very difficult to actually keep up with the amount of piglins that come down, so short bursts tends to work better, but yeah, it's very satisfying just murdering all those piglins like that and grabbing their XP. But as well as that, I've also put in this system here. So if we go up the top, let me grab this and fly away. So up here on the inside, what I've got is I have a double chest of flint, well, two double chests of flint and stills for each dispenser that we've got here, as well as a couple of hoppers, and they are fed in from a hopper chain, which runs all the way down, goes into all the boxes. Obviously that does mean that as I load it up, it doesn't distribute the flint and stills evenly, so I always just make sure I put enough in there to fill up the entire machine. So you may be thinking, well, how do you know when it's full? And you'd be right. Basically, this is a water stream, so I can just keep throwing stuff in there. But if the thing is full, then the entities would just be floating around at the top there, and obviously that's no good for anything really. I'm going to be wasting flint and stills. I'm not going to know what's what. So what I then did was I actually worked out a little bit of redstone all on my own. It's very simple, which is probably the reason I was able to get away with it. But basically, if we go up here, I'll put these back on in just a moment. So if we go up here and we'll just reconnect the system there. So this hopper here, when this has flint and stills in it, it sends a signal this way, which then sends a signal to this, which then opens up this hopper, which will basically send all the flint and stills back down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I will throw a few in and you'll see how this works. So there is space for some up there just at the moment, so I'll grab a few. And if we just throw these in there, I don't know how many we're going to need to fill up the system. It was pretty much full before I turned it on just then, so there shouldn't be too many. But when there's an overflow, essentially, that will, as I say, switch the signal, they'll drop down, and they go down here, and they go through a hopper that's linked up to a note block, which makes a ding, and then they go into this barrel here, and when this barrel is full, this light comes on as well. So there's plenty of sort of, you know, checks, essentially, to make sure that I'm not overloading the system, and to make sure that I don't waste any flint and steel if it does get too full. Well, it appears I need more in there than I initially thought, but that's not a problem either, because we have these two... Oh, there we go. So all the things are coming through. Not sure if you can hear the ding there. The game sounds might be a little bit low for you. But essentially, as they go through, the light flashes as it goes through a hopper that's directly behind the barrel. And as I say, yeah, there is a note block as well. So when they come through, mainly individually, so if I just chuck one in, you'll actually hear the ding as well. And that just lets me know that I need to stop making them. So up here, I do have the extra resources. So I've got plenty of flint in this box. I've got plenty of iron in this box. And I've even got some backup ones as well with iron and flint in and extra flint and stills and so on. So we've got plenty of stock for this place because it does eat through the flint and stills. But as I say, the amount of gold I'm getting from it is 100% worth it. Another thing that we've done in between episodes is the cactus farm up here. So we actually did the majority of that on stream. I just ended up stacking up a couple more levels onto it. And this is basically quite cool. So everything, it's just your basic cactus farm and everything falls down, flows down into here. But then it flows past this wall, stuff drops down into this water stream, and then it all feeds up into the chests over here. And as you can see, that's producing progressing nicely as well, and the slime farm is getting very full these days, so I'm going to need to maybe reconsider my prices in the slime shop, but we'll go over and check out that side of things a bit later. For today's episode though, we're going to be working in this section here, which I've started marking out a couple of bits, and I really need to sort out this floor. It's weird that stuff's spawning with... I didn't even know they could do that, so yep, we'll definitely sort this out. And what I'm going to be doing here is putting in lots of storage. In fact, I'm going to be putting in 16 different sorters, and that is going to be for wool. And the plan is to have a wall of sheep. So this is going to go pretty much up to the ceiling of the cave here, but we're going to have sort of 4, 8, 12, 64 rows of these sort of modules. We're going to have the sheep in them, everything's going to feed into the system, and yeah, we'll probably do something funky where maybe what I'm thinking is we'll run the wool under the floor before it goes up into sorting, just to bring a bit more movement and colour into this room as well. But first thing I need to do is to go and grab loads of resources, so I'm going to head off and do that. Let me grab my rockets, and I will see you guys back here in just a moment. So I've grabbed everything I think I need for this build, but one of the first things we need to do is to actually dig out the area behind there where we're going to be putting in all of the sheep, the farms, the collection bits, and somewhere where we can actually reload the shears as well. And for that, I'm going to need to do lots of digging. So I have a beacon, as you probably saw in my hand there, didn't really need to throw that, but what I don't have is enough iron to actually power it. So we're going to quickly pop to the shopping district, and while we're over there we'll check on our shops as well, and hoping that our end shop has actually made some more sales again, because that's actually been making us some diamonds, and we don't have too many because we keep spending them all on iron. So let's go see what we've got. So over here in the shopping district, the first thing we're going to do is just go and check our end shop, and there's a new shop there as well. What's this? Hey, there's a redstone shop. Let's go see if we've actually made any sales, shall we? Because we can do with some more diamonds. Looks like we sold some shulker boxes. That's 20 diamonds straight off the bat. That is marvellous. What else have we got here? Okay, so we might as well quickly restock that. We need 6 more boxes. However, it doesn't look like we've sold anything else. We did actually sell a elytra the other day, which is where this diamond block has come from, which is what we brought with us in case we didn't actually have any fresh sales. And I guess while we're down here, we might as well check the pickle van. You never know. Oh my, someone's actually bought some pickles. Wow. I really can't believe that. Maybe it was Lloyd. Maybe he felt bad for killing my pickle panda on stream. So I've just come over here, and I've actually sold some slime. And not just a little bit of slime either. Obviously, the Panda CEO we installed in a previous episode is paying off, despite not even having an office yet. Look what he's done. Sales are crazy. That's like 2 entire barrels of slime that's been sold. Absolute madness. And there's a few more, there we go, and there's a few more in there as well. So we have made an absolute killing from this. So maybe we don't need to lower our prices. Maybe we just need to restock. So I guess we'll be doing that later on in the episode, because yeah, that's a crazy... Who needs that much slime? So I was a little bit underprepared and I came over here without my rockets, so we're going to have to scale the mountain to do this. I refuse to buy some because I can make my own. We'll just go the hard route for now. And once we get at the top, we'll go check our last shop, which was actually the first shop we built. And I can't jump. I can't jump. There we go. There we go. This is the ocean shop that we built very early on in the series, and it's only ever sold a few pickles, because, you know, we've got to sell pickles everywhere, right? And doesn't look like we've sold any of them recently, which is a shame. I don't think anyone's ever really bought any coral, and they're still not buying coral, so that's absolutely fine. And, wow, I've sold a trident, or is it? Yep, 1 diamond for 3 tridents. So someone came and brought 3 tridents, which is marvellous. So overall, we have actually made 79 diamonds from this shopping trip visit, and that is absolutely amazing. Yeah, we've never made money, especially to that amount. That's a lot of money. So we're going to go basically spend it all on iron now, because we need lots and lots of iron. So hopefully this place has been restocked since we were last here, and we can get what we need. So they hadn't completely restocked, but I did find a couple of cheeky barrels over here that had not been touched at all, so we have just taken everything we can possibly get, as well as the remnants that were left in other barrels, and I think what this tells us is that maybe we should consider making our own iron farm in future, because we have spent a lot of diamonds in here, despite the absolute bargain prices of the iron, of course. I just get through so much of it. So one last thing to do, because we are going to be using a beacon, is of course to replace our tinfoil hats. Being tinfoil, they don't last particularly long, they break fairly easily, and I've got through a couple already, but they're clearly working, because I've not really had much go wrong lately. So I've made my way back, I've got the beacon set up, and upon arriving here, it did occur to me that I could have actually just made that out of gold blocks, because I'm swimming in those at the moment. But the most important thing, I suppose, is that we did actually make a profit on that trip to the shopping district, which is a very rare occurrence. I haven't actually had to go mining for at least 2 weeks now to get diamonds. Marvellous. What I've also done is marked out where the 16 windows are going to be, where our sheep are going to live. It's not going to be quite as tall as I thought, which is good, which means we can keep it below the sort of ground level that we've got up there. And, well, as I say, the next thing is just to dig all this out. So I'm going to fly at the top there, dig it all out, and next time I see you, this will probably just be full of holes. Bigger holes. Well, basically just one really big hole with smaller holes in front. Yeah, that's the one. And as promised, we have a hole with lots of other holes on the front of it. And this whole bit up the top here has now been cleared out. It should be enough space for everything we need to do. But I did also get a little bit carried away, because I was trying to work out how the dropping and depositing system thing's going to work, and essentially everything's going to get spat into this water chute. So just down here, this water chute, what it does is it goes underneath, and it goes underneath everything over here, which I'll get to in just a moment, and then feeds around the back, and then it comes out at the bottom here under the floor. What we then do is everything floats down this way through our multicoloured floor. As I say, I did get a bit carried away with the planning, but I had to get it all right. And then this drops into here, goes up the bubble tube. So, you know, completely pointless doing that loop, but it looks cool. And then they just go across and straight into the sorting system. And the way I've done it, I've actually put 2 filters for each colour of wool that we're going to get out of this, as indicated by the blocks I've used here. And the reason I've put 2 in is because in Bedrock, quite often, you can sort of miss stuff if it goes past just one filter. So I'm just doubling the chances of stuff actually getting caught and going into here. But worst case scenario, if stuff does get back to the end, I should just be able to pump it back into the hoppers at the top here, and then it will go round again and give it another chance, and stuff will just keep looping around the system. So that shouldn't be too difficult. The next step is for me to get the rest of the storage in, so I'm going to crack on and get that done, and hopefully when we're back, this room will look very colourful, and I'm intending to at least have this bottom layer complete, have it all lit up nicely as well, because you may notice it's very dark. There's some dark patches here which are going to be dangerous, and yeah, it should look fairly complete on the bottom level here, and then we're going to move up to that. But as I said, let's get this done first. And get this done we did, and I am loving how this is looking. I think it's come out really well, and it's just, there's water everywhere. It's beautiful. So these are the pipes that we were looking at earlier. I've actually made quite a lot of changes. I've made the floor a lot lighter. I think just using the light grey glass and being able to see the water and see everything flow through is much better. And then we've got lots of colour going on in the ceiling, lots of light. And I actually used glass here in front of these chests so that they can still be opened, it carries on the colour, and you can actually see what's going on behind, although if you look right through, you can still see lots of stones, so I will be replacing all of that with white concrete. The next thing for us to do, of course, is to start up here and putting in the sheep modules, but first, if I show you over the top here, essentially what's going to happen is we will put a water elevator in here so that you can get up onto this level. We'll turn this into a nice tunnel, and that's going to lead to the back of them, so we can actually restock the shears and so on, and we'll probably have some form of getting all the way up there somehow. So up top, what we've done is I've put in a few of the sheep modules so far. So we've got the first 4 in, obviously we've got another 12 to go, but the whole wall is going to end up looking like this. And I even went and rustled myself a few sheep just so we can keep those flowing and get them in as we need them. And yeah, you may be thinking, well, okay, that's all well and good, but how do you fill up the chests, and how do you make sure that there's shears in there? And that is all via this bit here. So as we go up here, we've just got a corridor which is actually sort of showing some of the back here. So down here we can get in to actually set all the filters. But yes, up here you can actually see the tunnel where everything's going to be kept. And further through here, this is the back room, so this enables me to see what sheep is in which module. So if we only want some of a specific colour, I can literally just put shears in the ones that we need, and there's plenty of space for backup shears as well. And each one of these units is going to be stacked on top of each other. We'll probably end up just putting a ladder or something in one of the corners to be able to get between the different floors, but I think that's going to work really well as well. So the next thing for me to do is to crack on and get the rest of these sheep modules in. This is probably not going to be a quick job. It took me quite a while to get those ones in with all the fiddling and making sure that the items get deposited and so on. I'm hoping that the next ones are going to be a bit quicker to do, but it's, to be honest, a lot of it's just the different colours that I have to keep using. That's yeah, lots of switching stuff around in my inventory. When am I getting a bigger inventory, Mojang? Well, that took much longer than I care to admit, but it is finished and it looks amazing. I really love how that's come together actually. The only sort of slight concern I had was obviously with the white one, because I couldn't really border it with white concrete. It made the window look a funny size and a funny shape. So for now, I've done it with white wool. Not sure I'm sold on that either. But overall, for the grand look of the thing, I really do like it. You may notice I've also changed the floor down here. I've decided to go with clear for this one. So we've got green on this side, we've got clear in the middle and here, and then we've got purple on that side. Lastly, of course, we do still have this section here, but we'll be saving that for another episode. I do have plans, I just need to work them out a bit better. They're very loose plans at the moment and they're not very well formulated, so we need to fix those first. So I'll give you a final tour of what we've got here. So not too much has actually changed downstairs since we were last looking. I've just added a little bit of wool to the outside in a similar way we have with the slime and the gold, just so we can easily identify what's in here. Not that the colour is, you know, leaving much to the imagination in that regard. You can see here though that wool has started to come through the system, which is marvellous. That tells me that everything is working. I've still not put the white concrete behind the back there because I basically ran out of concrete. So I need to go get myself some more sand and gravel. As we go upstairs, we go through this lovely corridor. I've just kept it fairly plain, but I think it works quite well for what it is. And back here, as you saw earlier on, we have the sorting sections. However, we now have 4 of them. So every floor of these is obviously now done as well. And if we look in these, we'll see that I've loaded up a chest worth of shears into every single module. So hopefully we are going to get plenty of wool from this over a little bit of time. As usual, what with one of my farms, it is not the most efficient thing in the world. Because of the design, I've had to make a couple of sacrifices in that there's a little bit less grass around the block the sheep are standing on than I would usually like, which does mean it grows a little bit slower. But considering this is in our main base, we're always going to be here, and I don't actually have a use for wool at the moment. It's going to be fine. It's still going to produce us wool, and over time we're going to have lots and lots and lots. Like the other farms in this area though, besides the gold farm though, it is another passive farm, and it is actually quite nice just standing here, and every now and then you just see the wool fly past in the water stream below, and then shoot up the tubes there, and then obviously it goes and gets sorted. But it's quite nice just to stand here with this going, and if you've got the gold farm on, you can see all the piglins fall in and you don't hear them from here. You can even look down and see the slimes and all the slime that we're collecting. So yeah, lots of very awesome things going on in here. And speaking of slimes, that does remind me that we need to go and refill the shop. But there's one other thing I need to speak to you about. So this weekend was a TB stream weekend, and I was, you know, just wrapping up the video pretty much, and I wanted to go grab a few more resources. I was 5,000 blocks out, basically. I was grabbing a little bit of wood. I didn't want to record this outro last night, so I waited till the morning. So I thought, well, you know, that's the thing I need to do, so let's go do that. While I was out there, however, I got a message from Blue Jay, who was currently streaming. He was the last one of the stream weekend, and he had got stuck in here. So basically what he had done is he was looking for me, apparently, and he dropped down and didn't have any rockets. He didn't have any rockets in his ender chest, so yeah, I think we're about to get some wool coming through. I just heard some splashes. Did I miss? Oh, look, here we go, look. Whee! Look at this, it's yeah, absolutely love it. So simple, but so satisfying. So yeah, as I was saying, he jumped down here and he got stuck. He didn't have any rockets. There was nothing here he can make rockets from because my sugarcane is actually up the top there. And he didn't have any rockets in his ender chest. So I came all the way back, 5,000 blocks, to rescue my server mate. You know what he rewarded me with? This. The Trident Tag Trident. This is something we are going to have to dispose of next episode. And with that, this is where I must leave you today. I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. It has taken about 3 days to put this together, just because of how fiddly a lot of the sorting system was, and all of the different coloured concrete and glasses I needed. I had to go get the dyes, the gravel, the sand. Oh, it's been crazy. But if you have enjoyed it, then please do hit that like button. It really does help the channel out. And if it's your first time here, please do also consider subscribing. In the meantime, I will see you on the next episode of Truly Bedrock. Bye-bye now.